People are always saying that the average American makes $45,000 a year. Where does the average American work? I want to make $45,000 a year. Are you kidding me? The most I have ever made is $30,000 in a year. Where are these people working that they're making $45,000? Like, don't just tell me that they're making $45,000 a year. Where do they work? Is their job hiring? I need more details. Like, where are they getting these numbers from? I don't think I know anybody in my life who is making $45,000 a year. Like, that is insane. I think that's like the average, only because like there's literal billionaires who are making like so much in a year that like regular people, they're like, oh, the average is 45,000. The average person, I would say, probably makes like 30,000, like 35,000. Like, you're not making $45,000 an hour on like a $15 an hour fast food salary. Like, where are the people who are making $45,000 a year? Where are they working? Are they hiring? Tell me that, America!
Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video, we're just looking at some TikTok rants about minimum wages and how much people are earning in the US. Let's go ahead, watch these videos and see what these creators are saying about their minimum wage and how much they earn and how their life generally with the minimum wage. So let's go watch these videos.
Watch this.
California business owners will be bleeding cash.
Increase the minimum wage for fast food workers from $16 to
$20 per hour.
You should be afraid.
This man is destroying California.
I have to say, I felt heartbroken by it.
Anti-free market, anti-capitalist.
I mean, talk about blowing up an even playing field.
People need to wake up.
Business owners and TV pundits are flipping out over California's $20 minimum wage for fast food workers. But here are 3 things they're not saying. Last year, these corporations made billions of dollars in profit, and the hourly wages of their CEOs is over 200 times that of this minimum wage. In Denmark, McDonald's workers make $22 an hour, and a Big Mac costs on average 13% less than it does in the US. And prices at fast food chains have already been rising with no wage increase. So this whole idea that poor people should not make a livable wage because it will either raise prices or increase layoffs is just a tactic to gaslight Californians.
But why is it that it's always business owners complaining about minimum wages? You are using somebody for a long time, even after their work schedule. Like here in Africa, right? When you work and let's say your work is 9 to 5, after 5, 6, 7, sometimes your manager can even send you an email and expect you to respond by 9 p.m. You see, but they are not ready to increase the minimum wage. Why are they like this? They are always acting this way. So here in the US as well now, the vendors, that's the owners of those businesses, are complaining. Why are they always the ones complaining? These people work and they deserve to be paid better. I think you guys should consider that as well.
We can't raise the minimum wage. Why? Because small businesses wouldn't be able to afford it. Why? Because if they had to pay people more, they wouldn't be able to have as many people, or they'd have to raise prices on products in the store. So that means more people wouldn't go to the stores anyway. Why? Because people would rather go to Walmart or someplace that has a lot more stuff for cheaper. People like cheaper stuff. Why? Because not a lot of Americans have a great amount of disposable income. Why? Because minimum wage is only $7 an hour.
Can somebody explain to me in crayon-eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage and I cannot afford to live?
I know he kind of answered the question himself in his own video, but I want to highlight one thing he briefly mentioned and talk about it, which is that the American dream is dead. Yes, the traditional American dream, which is like doing better than your parents and being able to provide a lot for your family, is dead, or at least it's changed. Because there are many of us that are well aware that we will never be able to make as much money as our parents did. And I think my mother, who is a boomer and benefited directly from the system in place, said it best when she once said, roughly, that the American dream has changed. It's become very apparent to everyone that in this economy, Gen Z, millennials, and some Gen Xers, many of us will not be able to do better than our parents. We won't even be able to do as well as our parents. And now the American dream has become just being able to get by, being able to maybe afford a house at some point, maybe have a kid or two if we're lucky enough to make that much money. And a lot of us, myself included, who has now experienced company like financial related layoffs twice so far in the last 2 years since I've entered the job market. You know, those of us who feel like we're constantly in fight or flight about bills and how we're going to keep making it by, it's making us miserable and feel so hopeless. And yes, I could sit here all day and show you graphs of how like inflation is going up, and while wages are going up, it's just not matching inflation. So it feels like we're all just constantly working and working, and the goalpost just keeps getting moved further and further away from us. And yeah, it has a lot of us extremely stressed and worried and feel like just giving up because we're constantly running a race where the finish line is getting moved further out. And I think it's obvious that we're all just really exhausted by it now. I know I am. I'm constantly hitting a wall with all of this. And a lot of us have to wake up every day blatantly knowing we will never do as well as our parents did. And we just have to try to make it, you know, somewhat close to that. I'm sorry. My dad passed away several years ago on this date. So I'm just thinking about him, and sometimes I feel like he'd be proud of me, but sometimes I feel like he'd be very disappointed. But he was also an extremely intelligent businessman with multiple degrees, so I think he, more than anyone, would really understand what we're all feeling right now.
I think this is everywhere right now. Everyone is complaining about this whole thing, the minimum wage, the cost of living, the inflation. It's just everywhere. I don't know when that is going to stop, if it will ever stop, because I don't know. So it's like, as the word, keep aging, this whole thing keep happening. We're tired. Like,
if you get paid $20 an hour, is that a lot of money to you? This might be a hot take, but I think $20 an hour is a lot of money if you live with your parents, don't have any bills, and you work a lot of overtime at your job. I feel like making $20 an hour if you're like grown isn't like a flex. Back in the day when people used to tell me that they made $20 an hour, I thought that was a lot of money. If you're making $20 an hour 10 years ago, you were taking 4.5 vacations a year, you probably shopped at Whole Foods, you're able to save a lot of money. In today's world, making $20 an hour is equivalent to making $11 an hour. You're on the poor list. This girl made a video and she says she declined a job because the job was going to pay her $18 an hour. And people in the comments were saying that she's crazy for declining a job that's paying $18 an hour, because $18 an hour is a lot of money. Maybe if you're a teenager in high school, it's a lot of money, but 18, 19, 20 isn't a lot of money anymore, sweetheart. Chick-fil-A and McDonald's is starting off at $19 an hour. And then a lot of companies feel like if they're paying you $20 an hour, they're really doing their big one, and they're not. I feel like companies should start paying close to the 30s or maybe late 20s or 30s. I mean, if you think about it, the Dollar Tree isn't even $1 anymore. So $20 an hour isn't really $20 an hour anymore. A 4 for $4 at Wendy's isn't $4 anymore. So $20 an hour isn't $20 anymore. I could go on and on with this.
So the things we used to see as big pay is no longer big pay right now. Okay. So let me take, for instance, there was a time back home in my country whereby people that earn like 100K, 120K, they're so rich. Like, you see them as rich people. But right now, if you're earning 200K, 300K in my currency, trust me, you're not even close to the middle class, right? Because things are so expensive. So I think it's just everywhere, and people are not even looking forward to paying more. That's another thing. I think employers should start paying higher as the cost of living, inflation increases. Let the hourly rate as well increase. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in this topic. Let's have that conversation in the comment section. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and do give this video a thumbs up as well. All right, see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.